Mag-aantay na lang po ulit ako ng panibago po.
Dami na po ito na tao. Nasa ilalim na po kayo ng overpass. Wala na pong madadaanan na tao.
Bakit? Kasi sobrang taas niya at sobrang hirap niya lakarin.
Halos sa mismong riles na nakatira ang mga residente. Doon na sila nagluluto, kumakain at naglalaba.
Non-negotiable yung gigibain natin kasi by law, yung building is more than 50 years old at gawa siya ng national artist.
20 preso ang nagtitiyaga sa tinatawag nilang basement o ilalim ng kama.
Ngunit lumiit ito dahil tinayuan ito ng mga gusali. Nilagyan pa ng kalsada sa loob.
Kahit sa ganito lang po natin masaya tayo.
Matupad naman siguro ang pangako ni Presidente. Sana papasalamat kami. Kaming mahirap, mabigyan niya ng magandang paninirahan.
But how did we get here? We first have to look into country's urban developments throughout the years. Urban development in the Philippines began during the Spanish colonial period. The Spanish introduced the Plaza Complex, a town centered around the church, government buildings, and a public square. While this worked for small settlements, it did not anticipate rapid urbanization. When the Americans arrived in the late 19th century, they brought modern city planning concepts. Architect Daniel Burnham envisioned a well-planned Manila with wide roads, clean spaces, and efficient transport systems. Unfortunately, many of these plans remained on paper. World War II devastated Manila, leaving much of the city in ruins. Post-war reconstruction efforts were focused on economic recovery, not long-term urban planning. The rural population flocked to cities in search of jobs. In the 1950s and 60s, the government encouraged industrialization, but urban planning failed to keep up. Informal settlements sprouted as workers sought affordable housing near economic centers. However, instead of following a long-term master plan, development was rushed to accommodate the growing population. By the 1960s, migration to the city surged. Rural Filipinos flocked to urban centers for job opportunities, but housing and infrastructure failed to keep up. During the Marcos regime, a more centralized urban strategy was introduced. Metro Manila was officially established, merging several cities and municipalities into one administrative region. Major roads like EDSA were expanded, and new townships like Makati were developed for businesses. But despite these efforts, urban planning remained inconsistent. Private developers had more control over land use, often prioritizing commercial interests over sustainable development. Luxury condominium rose in Metro Manila alongside informal settlements. Public transportation remained outdated, roads were built, but traffic only got worse. And with more malls, subdivision, and business districts popping up without a cohesive plan, the city became a patchwork of disconnected developments. To better understand the current state of cities in the Philippines, let us view them through the lens of ordinary people whose experiences provide a clearer picture of life in Metro Manila.
Wala masyadong masakyan. So especially in our community talaga, medyo kahit na nasa national road siya, walang public transportation.
Heavy traffic. Sobrang traffic po talaga ngayon. Unlike sa kahit saan ka pumunta.
Overall kasi ang transportation natin is very chaotic kung iisipin.
Makikita mo lang siya on areas na hindi siya pinopolitiko. And what I mean by that is if it's really designed for the commuters.
Ibang daanan kasi, ang daming lubak kaya ang hirap daanan din talaga Lalo na sa mga madilim na lugar, tapos malugar. Dapat may mga road signs sila dyan na iwasan.
Hindi ko makita na ganun siya ka-safe and ka-convenient talaga. Especially when it comes to provinces. Kasi kunwari sa amin, sa province namin sa Bulacan, kulang talaga ng mga central terminal when it comes to public transport.
Bad traffic situation in Metro Manila isn't really a local opinion but a data-driven hard reality. It has an average daily traffic volume of 3.63 million in 2023. In fact, Metro Manila was ranked as having the worst traffic congestion among metropolises worldwide by the TomTom Traffic Index, and is something that probably every local won't argue with.
I've experienced that once sa Makati. Meron silang designated talaga na loading and unloading zone. So yung biglang buhos ng ulan na yun, tapos dumagdag pa yung rush hour. Nagko-cause siya ng traffic.
For me kasi nagmumotor ako, yung mga bakal na nasa sahig, binubutasan nila yung ilalim. Tapos pag hindi nila natapos ngayon, nilalagyan nila ng bakal para madaanan pa rin. Ayun po yung nakakos ng accident kasi madalas yun pag nabasa.
Hindi lang siya sa ulan kasi kahit sa init, sa public transpo kasi dun sa amin, may mga ordinary pa rin na buses, ganun. So, hindi lahat nakakasakay sa mga air-conditioned, ganun. Pag umuulan naman, pagdating dyan sa may Santa Cruz and kahabaan papuntang Pedro Hill, lagi siyang baha.
Numerical rate to siguro siya around 2. 2 is being generous pa. Kasi madaming issues with regards kasi hindi na nga na-prioritize yung mga tao na walang disability. Paano pa kaya yung mga person living with their disability? So
Okay yung sa sidewalk natin kasi di ba may sila, wheelchair ka, idaanan sila para magamit nila yung sidewalk at hindi sila dumaan sa kalsada.
Yung accessibility is not that accessible kasi pupunta ka pa ng main road. Paano pa siya kung pagdating sa mga PWD natin na kababayan, ganun. Iisipin din natin na especially yung mga buses, hindi naman sila makaka-accommodate agad lahat ng mga PWD, especially kung physical yung disabilities nila.
unsafe siya kasi anytime hindi mo alam kung bababangga ka o hindi. At the same time, unsafe din siya kasi yung mga ibang kalsada that you have, wala masyadong visibility.
Wag lang magabi. Gana. Yan kasi yung yung mga kawatan, mga holdupper, kasi lalo na pag madilim yung lugar, diyan sila tumatambay, diyan sila tumitira sa di ba? Like yung nag-aagaw ng motor, ganyan. Haharangan ka nila tapos natutukan ng baril, tapos wala na.
Kulang na kulang talaga tayo sa personnel when it comes to safety. And hindi tayo makakatawag agad ng help if ever. Lalo na kapag kunwari dyan sa ilalim ng reto station, lalo na pag gabi sobrang dangerous niya. Naglipa na dun yung mga, actually muntik na rin ako dun. So that's one concern pagdating sa safety. Hindi mo ma-assure yung sarili mo when nasa labas ka.
So is it possible to create a livable city in the Philippines? And if so, how is it created?
The creation of livable cities relies on the seamless integration of architectural design, site planning, urban design, and urban planning, each observing a unique yet interconnected role in shaping the built environment. Architectural design focuses on individual buildings, ensuring functionality and aesthetics, while maintaining structural integrity that enhance user experience and safeness. Site planning expands this by organizing these structures within a defined space, optimizing circulation, accessibility, and considering environmental factors. Moreover, urban design takes a broader approach, creating the visual and spatial relationship between buildings, streets, public spaces that foster connectivity and a sense of belongingness in a place. Urban planning operates on the largest scale, ensuring the cohesive development of entire cities, balancing infrastructure, zoning, land use plan, ordinances, and long-term growth. While architectural design brings form and purpose, site planning refines spatial efficiency, urban design enhances human interaction, and urban planning provides the overarching vision for a sustainable and functional city. Together, they shape urban landscapes that are not only visually compelling, but also responsive to the needs of communities, ensuring that cities remain efficient, inclusive, and adaptable to future challenges.
When you read the image of the city, when Kevin Lynch defined the landmark, the path, the district, the nodes, I think that encompasses a good and livable city. The livable city for as well should be accessible to every aspect of the composition of city, whether commercial, residential, working, or institutional. For site planning, I need to address first what's the composition of the site. The technicalities of the site, gaano kalaki, ano yung nakapaligid, the existing site. Apart from the existing site, we need to assess the neighboring site. Ano yung katabi niya, ano yung existing, anong zoning ang pinagbabatayan nito kasi nalaman kung yung architecture mo mapipit sa site.
Bonifacio Global City or BGC
is one of the most well-planned cities in the Philippines, designed for safety, efficiency, and sustainability, serving as a model for modern urban development. BGC prioritizes people over cars. It features wide sidewalks, dedicated bike lanes, and pedestrian-friendly streets, making walking and cycling safe and convenient. These elements reduce the congestion and pollution, promoting a healthier and more sustainable urban lifestyle. Green spaces are essential in any well-planned city. BGC has parks, jogging paths, and open spaces that provide fresh air, and a place for people to exercise, relax, and interact with the community. These areas enhance both physical and our mental well-being. Unlike many urban areas, BGC is built to withstand heavy rain. It has an underground detention tank that stores rainwater and prevents flooding, keeping the city safe even during strong storms. BGC ensures safety and convenience through well-lit streets, smooth traffic flow, and properly zoned spaces. This design creates an environment where residents, workers, and visitors can move efficiently and feel secure day or night. BGC demonstrates that good urban planning leads to a better quality of life. It sets the standard for future cities in the Philippines, providing that true progress is not just about infrastructure, but also creating a livable, sustainable, and people-centered community.
Yung mga ganyang livable cities, walkable cities, 15-minute cities, nangyayari na lang siya, especially sa local setting natin sa Pilipinas, nangyayari siya sa mga private sector. Ayan, yung BGC, Eastwood, yan yung mga PUDs natin, di ba? McKinley. Diyan nangyayari yung sinasabi talagang live, work, play. That is the place where you live, that is the place you work, and that is the place also that you recreate. Maganda talaga siya ideally yung concept niya, pero it only happens in the private sector. Bakit? Kasi nga, malaki talagang bagay yung economic factor. Those ideas, yung mga ganyan, are actually expensive ideas. At dahil expensive yung ideas niya, doon nagkakaroon ng value. Kaya siya mahal. Kaya siya hindi affordable. And that's where the problem is. Na hindi na siya architectural problem. Kasi yung affordability is an economic problem, is a macroeconomic problem.
Urban design is more than just creating spaces. It shapes how people live, work, and connect. A well-planned city is safe, efficient, and sustainable, improving the quality of life for everyone. A city should be designed for people, not just for vehicles. Walkable streets, bike lanes, and public spaces creates a seamless and comfortable environment, ensuring accessibility and movement for all. Integrating nature into urban spaces makes cities healthier. Parks, green rooftops, and energy-efficient buildings improve air quality, reduce heat, and promote well-being, creating a more livable environment. A city must be built to withstand future challenges. Smart transportation, flood-resistant roads, and sustainable technology ensure urban areas remain resilient and adaptable to change. Urban design is not just about structures, it is about creating a city where people and progress thrive together. With proper planning, we can build cities that are organized, beautiful, and built for the future.
So, ayun ang challenge. How are we going to make that universal regardless of class?